So yeah, um, Mexico has been in a civil war for a long time, and nobody's been covering what's been going on, right? Why all these haciendas are empty, right? All of this land, this farming land, is empty, right? We've got the largest, I guess, female missing people's cases. Like, Mexico is the #1 country for femicide, right? Women just end up dead in ditches, raped and killed. And we call them fosas común, like it's a very Nazi thing to do. Like, they dig up huge holes in in remote areas, and then they dump a lot of female bodies in one big ditch. They just dump like 30 to 40 women in there, and children. They just dump them. So, and then when we uncover them, they're in like advanced, stages of decomposing. Like, you can't recognize the bodies anymore because they've been decomposing with fermented soil. Like, it's kind of hard and the temperatures get really high, so it's like the bone is all that is left at that point at a really fast rate. They use acids and cement to make sure that the holes are uncovered. So, they go out, right? The organized crime of Mexico. We know that it's the government, right? We know that nobody can have that kind of technology to target women when they're going out with friends. I'm like, what are the odds that somehow they find a way to target these women when they're the most vulnerable, right? They decide to text a friend. They're like, I'm going to go out to this Saturday, and then they end up missing that Saturday. It's like, so they have like some type of network of hackers that target people all over Mexico, especially women. And then, I don't know if they're sold that way, like we target them and then they rape them and then they put them in the holes and then cover it after doing 20, 40 rapes a night, right? And then they put cement over it and you can't figure out where these women went. So it's very organized, very, very organized. I'm like, who has the technology, right? The manpower to organize all these killings in one night? It's just insane. So that's the issue in Mexico. That's why there's all these protests, marches in Mexico, because there's like a lot of women that are being killed, and it's called femicide. And this is why the movement of feminism is so popular, and like it's a really important topic for Mexican women, because we are not surviving whatever this is. So if everybody in my family, all the females in my family have been raped at one point, we know that, this is a really a pandemic. This is a systemic problem that's not getting solved by the government, because the government is making sure that this happens. You know what I mean? And so, the brothels are now being opened, and we know that once the brothels are involved, we are fucked. We're screwed. There's no way we're going to survive any of this. So, it's kind of like, this is why we don't want tourists. It's farming land for one, right? Mexico is farming land. We don't need tourists. We need native people to be out in the field interacting with Mother Nature. That's how they live. They can't do anything else other than farm. So, and if you're killing the women, the farmer, the beekeeper can't continue doing what he's doing. He needs his wife. So when Mexico decides to open brothels, it's over. It's over. And that's what the war is mainly about. It's just that. It's defending the population, the native population, that it's depleted to the point where it's non-existent. And we have foreigners coming in and are like, you don't belong here, okay? You don't look like us. You can't just be here. We need the worker bee. We don't really need you to be here snooping around, right? We don't need you here. You know what I mean? That's why we really don't want tourism or tourists to enter farming land. It's like we put up the signs, don't enter here. We don't want you here. They don't want you here. It's a closed off community. You have to get a pass. You have to call numbers. You have to do checkups, you know, background check. Like, why are you here? Why do you want to come into this community that's highly protected to take pictures of the women? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just like, it's insane. And, you know, the Mexican government just allows it because obviously the Catholic Church is involved in this. The pedophiles are involved in this. The boys go missing, get raped all the time in these farming lands, all the time. We can't leave them not supervised out in farming lands in Mexico because the boys end up just being raped. There's not one left that has not been raped. So it's like, okay, so Mexico is in a civil war right now, and America is about to enter into another civil war, right? And then China has got millionaires that are sadistic as fuck. We're talking about cannibals and crazy people, right? That are entering Mexico, all types of places. They're infiltrating every part of the world, right? They're not leaving one single place untouched, looking for women and destroying natural resources. So the Mayan train in Mexico got built by the Mexican government over water filtration systems, right? So if the Mayan train got built over cenotes, which is the largest water filtration system that Mexico has, to ruin pretty much the supply for water to farming lands, and it was helped and paid for by China with the aid of also Russian, you know, I'm not going to say here Russia and China have a lot to do with everything, but it's looking like it kind of does because they're at war with Israel, and Israel is also at war with everybody, right? So they don't, right now Israel is crazy. They're just killing anybody and everybody. And China is right now supporting Mexico, right? To do an empire, to raise up Mexico as an empire, to take down America. So we've got this dynamics where China's all in for Mexico, but not for America, because it wants to dominate Mexico, because it knows it needs Mexico. Without Mexico, there's just no trade whatsoever, right? But once they have Mexico in the trade, it's over for America. They don't need the United States, you know? And so this is like a power struggle, like tug of war, right? And right now it looks like America is losing the game. Right now everybody's against America, rightly so, and against Muslim extremists. So there's two people that are not going to win this, okay? Nobody wants the Muslim extremists, and that's why they're bombing the shit out of, right now, the Middle East. That's the real reason. They don't care about the oil. China is said, doesn't need oil. Nobody needs the oil. This is not about oil, because really, technology is advancing in such a way that we don't really... China right now is not codependent on a lot of oil. They're just codependent on it for making products. Okay? But America has an energy deficit, a 50% energy deficit. So it definitely needs the oil. The only people here starving for oil is America, Africa, and every third world country that's underdeveloped. America is officially a third world country. Just letting you know. Okay? Civil war is going to happen. Nuclear weapons are gonna end up at this hemisphere of the side of the planet. And it's gonna go all bye-bye.